Ace Hardware, man. There's no plan here.
Why are there so many lesbians at City People's?
Yeah, that's kind of a fascinating and really, really strange tale. First of all, two of the owners, when they started on this endeavor, were gay, females. They came to town from other places with female partners. When they got to Seattle, for some reason, they turned straight because they wanted kids with men. I don't know why. I mean, you can get kids. Anybody can get kids. But they wanted families, and they just dumped their gay ways and both married two pain in the asses. Actually, one of the owner's husbands just an annoying pain in the ass. Just totally annoying. So, and oddly enough, they raised a whole bunch of really sweet kids, really nice kids. I mean, and they don't seem to be too screwed up over it, or, you know, that angst and madness that goes with some of those situations. They sort of fit in very well. They had no problem jettisoning the female counterparts.
How do you think that happens?
How that happens is beyond me. And I will tell you a tale about City Peoples. There was a man named Edward, and he came to work in the loading dock. What's that area called?
The
Receiving.
Uh-huh.
Receiving. He came to work in receiving. Tall, handsome guy, underachiever like all of us over there. Pretty well educated, from somewhere, the hinterlands. I think he was maybe Iowa. Or someplace like that, and he had this beautiful statuesque wife. Oddly enough, your wife sort of reminds me of her, but she was just a gorgeous, sweet woman, well educated. She knew a couple of languages. They'd been to Europe together. She's studying some Slavic language, some obscure one, and they ended up in Seattle. I know not why. She was doing something else, but he was just being a receiving guy, and so, this is so bizarre. This is so strange. There was a woman named Kelly that worked at the store, and she was one of the management people, a general manager type. And she was, forgive me, unattractive. Just unattractive in all ways. She had no figure. She had no face. Her hair was always a mess. She dressed in men's clothes. If a shirt tail was hanging out, she wouldn't notice. She had no idea what she looked like. Terrible composite. But, it was fine. She was just an earthy soul. And she was gay and had been with a gay partner forever. So, what happens is, for some reason, Edward dumps the beautiful woman. And then we hear after a while that Edward is going to move in with Kelly because she's got some space and he's got to get out of his place because him and his wife are done.
Yeah, and her girlfriend.
Yeah, and her girlfriend was
country or something like that.
Well, no, her girlfriend was an archaeologist, so she was always digging somewhere. So she was out digging dinosaurs or some damn thing.
Now, are we talking about a lesbian specialty when you say archaeologist, or is that just that's?
I don't think that's that was no. She really was an archegologist. She really went on digs, and she was really out of town a lot.
Digs, you say?
Digs.
Okay.
Digs.
I'll stop.
Digging bones up in, New Mexico or someplace.
Yeah. Some Indiana Jones shit.
Yeah, but she could have been tough enough. She was really kind of a nice girl. In any case, what happens is Edward moves in with this totally different person than his wife. The opposite end of the spectrum. You couldn't get further apart. Mm-hmm. And they're just friends. She's talking, months go by, they're just friends, da-da-da. And day before she announces this, I take a look at Kelly from the side and I'm saying, she looks pregnant. No. Dykes don't much care about what their bodies look like. She's probably just getting heavy. Next day, she says, she leaks the word, Edward and I are going to have a child. Oh, God. if ever I was absolutely flabbergasted. This can't happen. To this day, my psyche, my mind does not understand what happened there. So then, this gets even more interesting. Child comes along, a delightful little kid. Delightful little kid. So Kelly and the man, they're going to move to Iowa because that's where her family is.
Hold on. How did the rest of the employees react?
Just like I did.
Yeah.
They just they just looked at each other and went, what?
What? Nobody really knew what was going on.
Not
there?
a single soul. Not a single soul. We're just friends. And after the fact, it occurred to me that it was, there was methinks you protest too much or say you're friends too much.
Yeah.
But in any case, so this, talk about strange, this gets so strange. This isn't even part of the strangeness. So she too is studying obscure languages too, oddly enough. She too has some connection with Eastern European languages.
That's what I dig in chicks. Obscure or dead languages.
Yeah,
That's a
and
real
poorly
turn-
dressed,
that's a really
and no
turn
makeup.
on for me.
In any case, they moved to Iowa, where her folks are, so she can further her studies.
It's Kansas. Because I
Oh,
know.
you know Kelly. Tell me
know.
that.
Well, she came into the store while I was working there years after all of this went down. And I knew Kelly from Kansas. We used to work in the same building.
That
so.
can't happen. See how strange this is? Well, in any case, what you didn't know is she goes off to Kansas with her new love. Not sure if they got married. Doesn't really matter. They get to Kansas. They have a fight. He walks out on her in the middle of the night, walks down to the railroad tracks, observes a train coming, and jumps in front of it and obliterates himself. Just so bizarre. So she's there with this child. The man's dead. She's a complete wreck. It was way too tragic. However, when I heard that, I was not surprised because I always felt like that man would kill himself. And remember, Mercedes said the same thing?
Yeah.
She always felt that he would die young.
Yeah.
It's just so strange and so peculiar.
What can you explain what it was or what you felt or what you saw
What?
in Edward that made you think that?
Just feeling the Edward of it all. Just knowing him and working around him, he was loved. Everybody loved the guy. He was just very lovable and handsome and warm. But there was a darkness that would come over him. A real deep darkness. A darkness that was just too terribly dark. And that's what said to me that, if this guy doesn't have some kind of drug for that, he's very likely going to kill himself.
Yeah.
But I have had death feelings for people before. When I was young, the first time I saw this guy, we were skating on the ice in Connecticut. Those were the years when there was winters in Connecticut. And the ice froze and there was a pond. And I kept staring at this guy and staring at him because I knew he was going to die young. I just knew it. There was nothing concrete. He looked good. He looked healthy, so on and so forth. But I was sure he was going to die young. And so it may be that in another guy later on, I actually called his death. I knew he was going to die. But he was an old pain in the ass, and I was delighted.
Sounds rolling. Snap it, Carl. Take a beat after you're done, whenever you're ready.
1,000. And so what was that?
Why are there so many? Sorry,